Hi guys, and welcome to the first episode of DeCrypto, where we'll be decrypting the week in cryptocurrency. My name's Gareth Jenkinson.
And I'm Darryn Pollock. I think the most important thing we need to get across this week is the ICO situation. In the mainstream media, we saw headlines that were stating that over 800 ICOs are dead or dying or not even worth a cent anymore. And as well as that, they're talking about how Bitcoin itself has dropped 70% of its all-time high. A lot of FUD, a lot of negativity going on, but I think there's more to it than that.
So in actuality, the ICO market's evolving. There's more money being pumped into ICOs. In March 2018 was the best month ever, with $2.9 billion being raised by ICOs.
Yeah, but you got to remember, half the reason for that month, which was off the charts, was because of Telegram. And Telegram raised 1.8 billion over a couple months, but March was its main one. And the Venezuelan Petro was another one that raised over 5 billion through its ICO, with March kind of sitting right in the middle.
These are private sale ICOs, am I right?
Yeah, so private sale, it's also becoming a big thing. People are enjoying the idea of a private sale ICO because they get to focus in on their investors, and those investors can really focus on what they want to get out of the product. So the Venezuelan one was kind of a private sale, but the Telegram one was a real private sale, to the point where they said that they're not even going to run a public sale anymore because they've raised so much money just with their private sale.
So, and the Petro is completely different in my opinion. Its pre-sale was focused at big money investors. They weren't even accepting bolivars, which is obviously the national currency. They're looking at those big international investors. And to be honest, I like the cryptocurrency because this is a country that has struggled with hyperinflation for a number of years, and they've seen the value in cryptocurrency offering a way to not only battle hyperinflation, but create a new currency that's backed by oil, but it is also a cryptocurrency.
See, it's interesting you say that, because a lot of people don't like the Petro, but even more than that, people are they over ICOs in many respects. They think that they're a bit scammy, and the ICO brand's got a bad rep. But I think that's changing. I think people are trying to make the ICO space better, and by trying to make the ICO space better, in the future could be a good avenue still. Even if we look over the trends from 2017 towards 2018, there's been a change. I mean, even the duration of ICOs has become longer.
Yeah, that's right. So in 2017, ICOs, about 50% of ICOs were lasting between 10 and 30 days. So people are only taking 30 days to raise funds for whatever blockchain-based project they were running.
That's short.
Very, very short.
But now you see in 2018, a bigger proportion are lasting between 50 and 70 days, and even there's ICOs that lasted over 150 days. So you're looking at almost 6 months for an ICO. And in 2017, no one did that. In terms of the data provided, there was not one ICO that lasted over 150 days, and in 2018, about 5% went that far.
Now we saw the start with EOS back in 2017. They launched their ICO. That was a year-long ICO, so they took a year to raise funds through their EOS token sale, which was an Ethereum ERC20 token, which obviously has to be converted to an EOS native token. They're grappling with that now, but they took a whole year to develop and raise funds for the project, so that it's completely changed the game.
It's interesting because, that headline of 800 ICOs or 1,000 ICOs, depending where you look, is true. There are a lot of projects out there that come and go like the weather, and they don't last. But the ICO space is very new. If we think the cryptocurrency space is new, it's 10 years old. The ICO space really is only about a year, 18 months old, and it's got a lot of way to go. I think it's going to get better. I think these trends that we've seen in terms of people taking their time with their ICO, focusing on private ICOs where they're more accountable, it's going to be better for the space in the long run. And by making the space better, ICOs, I think, will still survive, and they won't just be associated with scams and rip-offs the whole time. Should we go get some coffee?
I think so.
Okay, you wait, Joe. I think talking about Wild West, talking about ICOs and the Wild West situation they bring, I think we've got to talk about stuff that's happening in exchanges in Japan especially, and even blockchains are getting compromised and how much it's scaring away investors. we saw this week, Japan delayed its deposits, delayed its withdrawals, people were questioning why. It actually came out that they are trying to increase their know your customer verification. And the reason being is that they worry about Yakuza using the exchange as a way to launder money.
You're right, the situation in Japan is pretty hectic. I mean, considering that, basically Yakuza, mafia using cryptocurrencies to launder their money. Look, it's long been talked about, but you don't often see it that people actually stop exchanges from operating because they're worried about these people using money for nefarious means.
Yeah.
This goes back to February where CoinCheck were hacked, and that led to the FSA, the Japanese FSA, to issue basically business improvement letters to numerous exchanges, which was basically forcing them to put into practice better know your customer regulations, actually register people for bank accounts and that sort of thing to make sure that they know who these people are that are actually trading on these exchanges.
A lot of people thought it's a bit hectic, the FSA getting so involved. I mean, they went so far as to start regulating the guys who were in charge of the self-regulatory body. They ended up quitting their positions at the top of it because they had to deal with their own issues that the FSA were trying to sort out. But for me, I think it's great. I think it's a good idea. Japan must go out there, clean up these exchanges, make sure they're running like proper businesses because they're operating with millions and millions of dollars and yen. And if they can make their users not feel so at risk, then it's a good thing. It's good for the growth of crypto. It's good for Japan itself. And people be more trusting of exchanges going forward.
Well, I think that's enough for one day, guys. Like we said earlier, this is the first episode of DeCrypto, where we'll be.
We're going to be unpacking the week in crypto and discussing what we think is important and discussing what we think needs to be done.
If you liked our content, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. You can also follow us on Twitter, and of course, share this video and give us a thumbs up.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.